Town Council, a regular meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight, and especially those who are watching by way of internet. Sometimes I forget. I apologize for not welcoming you also up there. Look down. So we will look and see what we have here on the calendar. Thursday, August the 22nd, we're having the cemetery master plan public meeting over at 149 Legion Drive. That'll be from 4 to 6 p.m. If anyone would like to come out and take a look at the master plan that we've been working on here for a couple of years or so. And then Tuesday, August 27th, our town council meeting has been canceled due to not enough stuff to be on the agenda there. And then our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, September the 10th. So, oh yeah, I messed out here too. On Monday, September the 2nd, town offices will be closed for Labor Day. I know there was something else there. Okay, we have some public comment today.
We do not have any general public comment. We have some individuals who would like to speak at the public hearing.
Oh, so most of this is at the public hearing?
It is, yeah. Our only comments
Okay.
are for the public hearing.
All right, that works. Okay, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Anyone? If not, I will ask for a motion to be approved.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. The second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign, so ordered. Okay, the consent agenda.
Yes. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Moving along. Okay, we have a presentation today by Mayor Pro Tem Chuck Dixon. It's a report on our environmental sustainability committee activity. So take it away, Chuck.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to report on the activities of our environmental sustainability board. As you know, you appointed me as a member of that board along with many other folks, and I'll tell you a little bit more of that in a little bit. It was a year and a half ago that we first looked at doing this, and after planning and recruitment, you appointed board members. The goal of the environmental sustainability board, of course, is to help the town meet its renewable energy goal by the year 2050. That's the main idea. There are 5 members of our board who are here, and they're all in the back row. I told them that they could get out quickly if they sat on the back.
Did you point out to them this is not church?
They're not shy, believe me. But back there, and I'm going to take them from the far side to this side. Reed Conway is on our board. Reed lives at Lake Junaluska. He's the energy manager at Western Carolina University and also runs their electric system over there. Their electric system is of a similar size as the town of Waynesville. So he is now has become a trusted advisor for Rob and the town of Waynesville and our Environmental Sustainability Board, because a lot of what we're dealing with is electricity. Next to him is Kate Kirkman. That's Dr. Kate Kirkman. She has a PhD in biology. She worked at a teaching forest in southern Georgia for many years and now lives in the Waynesville area. Let's see, William Height is next. You've seen William before. He spoke during COVID, if you remember, and was kindly escorted or given protection by the police when he left. He's a nurse at the VA. He's also quite an expert in the field of electric transportation. You can talk to him about the electric vehicles he owns at some point in time. And he is the chair of our board and is doing a great job. Next to him is Buffy Queen. Buffy has been an environmentalist for all her life. She either has worked or maybe still works for Julia with REACH. I hope so.
It's at 5 o'clock today, yes.
And she is a valuable member of the board. And then finally, Paul Carlson, who founded and ran the Little Tennessee Trust, if I'm not mistaken, in Macon County. conservancy over there, and he's now on our board. We have 5 other members: Case Brown, Perna Keshavia, Betsy Wall, who many of you know, Mary Kaler, and then Dr. David Henderson, who lives right up the street. He's a professor at Western. So those are the members of our board. After an initial day-long retreat, we decided that the best thing to do was be to break up into 3 working groups. So we have a working group on energy, which is clean renewable energy, energy efficiency. We have secondly, a working group on electric transportation. And thirdly, we have a working group on urban ecology. I can say that these folks are some of the most thoughtful, hardworking, and dedicated people you will meet. They have spent countless hours already working on things. We meet twice a month on the first and third Thursdays at 4:30 at the across the street. Those meetings are an hour and a half long. We've toured the watershed. We did a day-long tour of town facilities along with one of our consultants. We do Teams meetings once or twice a month, and the members of this board have been extensively involved in grant writing. They have helped out. Of course, we have a grant writer, but they've been the technical expertise and have helped write grants. And as you know, the first grant we received was from the Department of Energy, Communities Leap grant, which is worth about $750,000. And what this does is provides us strategic, clean, and renewable energy planning and financing advice and technical help over the next 18 months. We've already had multiple meetings with our advisors and will continue to have more. We are going to get about 1,500 hours of technical assistance from the National Renewable Energy Lab, NREL. NREL is the laboratory of the Department of Energy. It's been in existence for a long period of time. It is our nation's energy lab. And there are experts there, lots of experts, and they're going to be helping us. We're looking at several things, renewable energy projects. We're looking at, and none of these are set in stone. This is just some examples of kinds of things we may be looking at. Is a resilience hub at the rec center. The rec center is a great place to put solar facilities. It's also our biggest energy user by tons. I mean, it uses more energy than it takes a lot of heat to cool. But because of the flooding problems we've had in Haywood County, this is possibly a good project for a grant that would provide a resilience center in the cases of emergencies and that sort of thing. We've looked at possibly a solar array at the landfill. There are quite a few acres there that are they can't be used for anything else. They're just spouting off methane right now. And we could use that. We're also looking at help with the electric contract that we're going to be entering into to purchase electricity. That will go out for bids at some point in time. And it's pretty complicated. There's a lot to this. We're getting help with that and also helping. Each of you is going to get an invitation shortly from NREL for a seminar or for an online presentation having to do with solar, microgrids, and resilience hubs. This will be put on by the technical advisor that's been assigned to us. So you'll be getting an invitation. Hopefully you can look at that. There are many other trainings and workshops they can do, and that's what the handout that I put on your desk is just all the different opportunities that we have to learn and to take advantage of what NREL has to offer. We also get $50,000 from them. We've already gotten the money. We will use that for whatever we decide we need to use it for to help implement the grant that we're working on. Our board is really good. They have really big ideas, but I can tell you that they are also focused on finances too. They understand, and of course I do, that a small town doesn't have a whole lot of money. So finance is key to anything that we do. Fortunately, though, the times are a little different now than when John first proposed solar for the rec center and for other buildings and proposed AMI metering. I mean, John, you were ahead of our time. Fortunately, now, though, there are tax rebates that we can get. 30% of the cost is going to be refunded by the government if we purchase any sort of renewable energy types of things. So we're in a different time. We've also gotten a determination from the USDA that we are eligible for rural funding, and that Waynesville is a rural town. It's 20,000 or less now, so we will be eligible for low interest rate, long-term loans. So we're looking at that. We're looking at the fire department, looking at for all sorts of things. But that's another thing that we've talked about. We have gotten energy assessments and recommendations from Waste Reduction Partners, which is a state energy office type organization for the town hall, the Hazelwood offices, and the rec center. So we have recommendations for all three of those buildings and how to save energy and what we ought to be doing over the next number of years. And Rob and Julie are going to be working on policies and procedures to implement that with the replacement of heat pumps and to manage our energy efficiency. Rob, as you probably know, has made a grant application through Electricities for the AMI metering, automatic metering, which, again, John, you were maybe ahead of your time, but which is essential for what the town needs to do. We can't do, so that'll be on your agenda, and you'll be getting recommendations on that. But that's something that, and I'm not going to go into all of the pros and cons, or mostly the pros for that, but that's another thing that we're looking at. The other thing that helps us is the town of Waynesville has two disadvantaged communities, according to EPA and Department of Energy. Those are, and one community is on that way, going all the way out to Love Lane, that area, and from here out there and going around a little bit that way towards Hazelwood. The other area goes on this side of town, really from East Street on out. So the rec center is in a disadvantaged area, and those are areas that have been determined by the U.S. government to be. It's based on numerous factors, mainly health and income. Those areas have poor health outcomes with heart disease and that sort of thing, and they also have lower income and household wealth and that sort of thing. So anyway, that helps qualify us for loans also. But what we're looking at with as far as our goals are is energy savings, energy efficiency, and also serving the community, trying to make things better for the citizens of Waynesville, in addition to just the town as far as our taxpayers. There's bad news and good news. I'm not sure which this is. It's actually all good news. I'm not going to be back asking for a sustainability director. What we have found out is that we already have one. We have an assets manager, and Julie Grasty has been working with our Environmental Sustainability Board for quite some time now. She is already responsible for tree canopy studies. She's pulled all sorts of studies off the shelf that have been done before. She's responsible for building efficiency. She has knowledge of all the energy usage in the town. So what we found out or realized that we actually already have someone who can deal with the things we need to deal with. And Julie has worked with our board, who applied for another grant recently, a tree maintenance grant from the North Carolina Forest Service. This is a grant for $110,000, no match required, for deferred tree maintenance, pruning, limbing, removal of trees. Much of this is safety reasons, and this will be at our three parks, the rec center, on our streets, and again, they spent many hours touring town and the parks with the Forest Service, and now have applied for the grant. So we're looking forward to hearing that. That would be, of course, the urban ecology group we have. And finally, there is an opportunity that other folks are working on. Some members of our board are working on it. found the grant, but it's not being, and they're working on it, but this is an EPA community change grant for between 10 and $20 million. And it's for greenways, river access, flood mitigation. The towns of Waynesville, Canton, Clyde, Haywood Waterways, TDA are part of this. It's being spearheaded by the Southern Appalachian Highlands, and they are looking at applying for that grant. This is in addition to the other grant that Elizabeth will be talking about a little later today. So lots of good things going on there. Two things that we've realized is that, or at least I've realized, is that we're going to need an electric engineer or some sort of professional in our electric department. Rob is the head of our electric department right now, and if we found another town manager after he leaves us, then maybe they would know something about electricity. But we need to be looking to the future in terms of professional staff for the electric department. It's in terms of what we're going to be doing with AMI metering, in terms of load management. There are lots of things that can be done. The other thing we're probably going to need is also a computer systems administrator. I think at some point, I don't think Yes does that now, but I believe that that's something else that we're going to need to do as we get the AMI metering in and that and other things. I think that's probably going to be another job that we're looking at filling. But the good thing is I'm not going to ask you for a sustainability grant. Right now we have 2 vacancies on our environmental sustainability board, so I encourage anyone to apply if they're interested. Just contact our clerk and you can do that. And the other thing is, as I prepared this, I realized that we're doing so much stuff and there's so much information coming in that we could use all the help we can need. Anthony, you're involved in transportation. If you'd like to work with our group that's working on transportation, that would be great. John, you know an awful lot about solar and of course computers and AMI and that sort of thing. If you would be interested in helping out too, we really can use all the help we can get. It's way over my head. Of course, that's why we have all these good people over there who are helping. But when you start looking at electricity and loads and just there's a lot to it. There really is. So again, we could use all the help we can get. Does anyone have any questions? I just want to thank the board for what you've done. I think it's a great thing. We've got a great team. They're working really, really hard. And again, I give them all the credit and thank them for everything that they're doing. And thank y'all for coming this evening. And you're welcome to stay for a while, but you can also leave. Just slip out, nobody will know you're gone. Anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you, Chuck, for bringing us up. Okay, move on. We have a public hearing coming up tonight. The public hearing is to consider a zoning map amendment for 225 Church Street in 8615-27-0218 from Main Street neighborhood residential to Main Street residential mixed use overlay. For a section of 15.14 off the land development standard. Elizabeth?
Sure.
We need to close the public hearing for her.
No, she gives her comments in
Just
the
her
public hearing.
comment,
So
yeah.
we need a motion to open the public.
Okay.
I move we open the public hearing.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like some, okay, Ms. CT.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, members of the public, for being here. This public hearing is concerning a extension of an overlay district onto 225 Church Street, which is the corner lot where there was an old school building. It's also served as the St. John's Daycare, and then most recently as a Southwestern Commission Daycare facility, which closed last year, and it's sat empty, I think, for about a year at this point. The property zoning designation currently is the Main Street Neighborhood Residential District, or MSNR. This zoning permits outright already child and adult daycares, studios, and cultural and community centers. Professional services are allowed within this district on a corner lot, such as this property, and schools are allowed with a special use permit. This school actually goes back to the 1930s and was built a long time ago. So the purpose of the application is to reuse the school building as a cultural and community center with studios, both of which are permitted outright, and to integrate a retail space and small restaurant within the building. But these two uses are permitted only within the designated overlay district. So the applicant has included a narrative describing her vision, and she is here tonight. Ms. Shireen Mallet is here, and she can talk to you more about her plans specifically for the project. But what I would like to just emphasize to you is that most of what she envisions doing with this building is already permitted. What she would like to include is a small coffee shop and restaurant within the building, as well as a retail component to allow the artists who are using this building to sell their wares on site. The Main Street Neighborhood District is a walkable in-town neighborhood separating two business districts. Our land development standards describe it as in addition to its convenient location, the public library, central elementary school, and many larger older homes are among the amenities that make this area attractive for residential living. Future development should work to maintain this attractive area, continuing a scale and design that will attract ongoing residential use of the district. The dense tree canopy currently found in the area should be maintained, and sensitivity to the canopy and the improvement of pedestrian facilities should be important for any new development. There was a special called meeting on July 22nd, 2024 of the Planning Board. After that public hearing, the Planning Board unanimously approved the application, but did want to place a limit of allowable uses to just the general commercial, which would allow the retail and the small neighborhood restaurant. Notification of this hearing was mailed to adjacent property owners on July 23rd and posted with a sign on the property on that same day. We also published advertisement for this hearing tonight in the Mountaineer on July 28th and August 4th. In terms of what's there now and the surrounding land use and zoning pattern, it's surrounded by single-family residential dwellings, and it's directly across the street from St. John's Catholic Church. It's approximately 545 linear feet along the roadway to Frog Level and approximately 245 feet to the recently designated Railroad Overlay District along Richland Creek. It was permitted one time as a child care center for up to 160 students. And it was originally a community school built in 1930. It's therefore, I would just note, been a traffic generator of some, probably some significance in its past and throughout its history. Since the public hearing at the Planning Board, I did want to let you know that neighbors have expressed concerns regarding parking, particularly parking as it's generated by St. John's Church, particularly on Sundays. And the church has used the parking lot of the school building in addition to limited spaces on Church Street. The concern is that if the building is activated for studios, retail, and a coffee shop, that the Sunday church parking might get worse. Staff has informed the applicant owner of these concerns. We've had conversations with Ms. Malik regarding this concern. And staff feels that Harmony House and St. John's should come up with some type of agreement about the use of the parking lot, which, by the way, is private property now owned by Harmony House in this way. There are several areas of our comprehensive plan that could be considered as relevant to this request. The purpose of the comprehensive plan document, as we all know, is to, quote, serve as a guideline for community decision-making into the future. It is intended to be used by town staff, aldermen, and other town boards to make decisions on resources and land use. In Chapter 2, it lays out the vision and goals for our comprehensive plan. And there are three, actually, that really specifically talk to this project. One is that overarching idea of promoting smart growth principles and encouraging infill, mixed use, and context-sensitive development. And that's has to do with reusing a school building for a new purpose. Secondly, Goal 4 in the comprehensive plan says that we should protect and promote Waynesville's cultural resources, invest in the preservation, restoration, and promotion of Waynesville's history, and encourage collaboration among local cultural and heritage organizations and artists to enrich our community with events and education. Thirdly, Goal 5 of the plan actually speaks directly to creating opportunities for a sustainable economy. And a few of the objectives there say to encourage creatively designed mixed-use walkable centers and commercial districts that appeal to residents and visitors, and to promote the growth of existing local businesses and Waynesville's quote-unquote maker economy. We'll note that in the comprehensive plan discussion, the fact that Waynesville and this area has so many creative people, artists and craftspeople, people who generate income from home-based businesses where they are making things, that this is actually completely in alignment with what was envisioned in the comprehensive plan as creating economic opportunities for small-scale businesses and people who work with their hands and make things here. In Chapter 3, specifically, we promote the comp plan says to promote small and independent businesses, entrepreneurship, and the maker economy by creating a maker space or a space that supports small local manufacturing, crafts, artisans, artists, and arts education, fabrication, studio, educational, and commercial space. The plan also, I should say, recommends leveraging vacancy of buildings to create business opportunities, particularly in Frog Level and Hazelwood. And this building sits on that corner lot of Meadow and Church Street, almost halfway between Frog Level and Main Street. Finally, in the comprehensive plan, we have a future land use map, and that indicates that the property being considered for map amendment to be mixed use / community. So the designation of placing an overlay district to allow some additional uses on this location is consistent with the future land use map. The majority of the uses proposed in this development of the school building are already permitted outright in the zoning district. The question before the board, therefore, is if additional uses allowed in a mixed-use overlay are appropriate to the context of the lot and the neighborhood. These are specifically, if you look at all the types of uses allowed in overlay districts: retail, restaurant, personal and business support services, ATM and banking, and laundry facilities. The uses of a small restaurant and retail space are the things that are actually driving this overlay zoning request. In past overlay application, the boards have limited certain uses in mixed-use overlays to specific properties. An action to limit the overlay request to only a restaurant and retail space could also be applied in this case. This creates, in effect, a limited mixed-use overlay, which has to be coded separately on the official land development map and be footnoted on the table of permitted uses. It makes it a little bit more complicated, but if it helps to give some clarity and certainty amongst the neighbors about the restrictions of what all could be used in this building, I would advise that staff would support that. We also note that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan because it proposes to reuse the 1930s building that is sitting empty. It could create multiple tenants and uses, creating an infill and mixed-use redevelopment of the property. It creates this maker space that our comprehensive plan spoke of that would provide business opportunities for local and small business owners, craftspeople, and artisans. And its proximity to Frog Level, and Main Street, makes it fall within this mixed-use community designation on the future land use map. We also feel that the application is reasonable and in the public interest because this overlay zoning would create new business opportunities within an old school building. The building has classrooms, parking, sidewalks, and outdoor space to accommodate the proposed uses. And the property has a historical use commercially as a school and daycare. I'd also note that the property is located on a corner lot that's over an acre. It's along a street that connects the business districts of Main Street and Frog Level. And then finally, the planning board recommended that the mixed use overlay be applied to the property and that the application is consistent in their findings with the comprehensive plan. They do recommend that the overlay uses be limited to restaurant and general commercial retail. When you look at the table of permitted uses in your land development standards, this would have the effect of adding in that EL designation for that zoning district for those two uses. And this would essentially allow a small restaurant and a retail space to be permitted within the old school building. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'll refer you to your agenda packet where the application of the Harmony House LLC is there. There's also some maps and a building. You can see the actual building floor plan, so you can see what's the space that is there available. And we have a draft ordinance for your consideration.
Good. Joe, do you have any questions?
What was the vote of the planning board?
It was unanimous.
Right. And if we allow this application, could the entire school, old school, be used as a restaurant?
Yes, it could.
And then could the entire school be used as retail?
Yes, it could.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions.
Julie?
I will just say I spent 5 years of my life in that school, so I know the floor plan. I know from top to bottom. I know the tennis court. I know all of it. So, yeah, it's a win-win for the community, and what a great repurpose of a building that pretty much was going to be demolished. So, yeah, I'm good.
Anthony, you have any
Yeah, I
questions?
have one question. Could you list all the things that if we did not just limit it to retail and restaurant that would be allowed?
Yes, sir. In the overlay district for mixed use overlays, we would allow on my paragraph here, ATMs and banks, business support services, personal services, that's like hair salons, dry cleaning, and laundry services, in addition to general commercial and restaurants.
John?
No questions. One comment. I believe this is a wonderful opportunity, and for all of the reasons that Elizabeth outlined, but one big one from my perspective is that it would preserve a building that's been in this community since 1930. And I think wherever and whenever we can support those kinds of endeavors, we should do so. And as a little bit of an aside, I never went there for school, although that building is steep in Fighter family lore. My father went to school there, and he actually led a walkout of the school when they no longer permitted the they used to walk up the street to Guns Corners, which is where the kitchen shop is, if I'm not mistaken. And the school said you can't do that anymore. And my father led a walkout in protest of that. So I think it's a wonderful idea. I am comfortable with the designation, the two additional designations. I would not be opposed to doing the whole thing if the rest of the council is inclined to do that. So anyway, I compliment your efforts and look forward to hopefully seeing that come to pass.
I'll make a second bite at the apple when we get to close the public hearing about uses.
And John, my mother and father both went to St. John's as I did,
Oh, really?
and they met there. And
Oh, really?
yeah, young, met each other and then got married later in life. So yes.
Wow.
Again, just to clarify, the proposal is not to allow ATM banking, business services, dry cleaning, laundry,
Personal services.
Yes, well, the applicant just asked for the overlay
Right.
designation without any,
But the recommendation of the planning
the
board.
planning board was to limit it just to. the
And right now, schools, daycare centers, what else is allowed in that?
Community and cultural facilities and studios, art studios are already allowed.
All right. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
The applicant.
The
The applicant.
applicant, would like to speak. I would have to say in 1968, that was my first job.
Wow.
Yep, I worked there for Mount Providence.
Our rules allow 10 minutes for the applicant to make a presentation, so I've got a timer here.
Will be way long. Don't worry. Thank you.
No one will complain.
Small businesses are the heart of our community, fueling economic growth and thriving with local government support. Church Street Studios will be a dynamic environment where these businesses can create, collaborate, and grow. Good evening, Council. My name is Shireen Malik. I'm the CEO of Harmony House and Church Street Studios. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, and thank you so much for sharing your stories. Today marks the 51st day of this remarkable transformation. This project is so exciting because it combines my passions for saving old buildings, curating inspiring environments, and supporting local businesses. We are grateful for the community support and the momentum it has generated. We were thrilled to be featured on the evening news. We are here tonight to request the mixed-use overlay minus laundry. Our vision includes a coffee shop and/or tea house offering sandwiches and scones that does not require installing hoods or making structural changes. As we know, the building is an old one. We're trying to minimize those sorts of things from happening. By including retail space for makers to sell their goods, along with business support and personal services, we aim to create a dynamic blend of businesses within the building, serving both the neighborhood and our community. We recently met with neighbors to hear their concerns about parking, trees, noise, and hours of operation. We plan to develop a parking layout, preserve trees and landscaping, and comply with town ordinances to ensure that we remain good neighbors. We will reference projects like Folkmoot for guidance. We believe this project will enhance Waynesville's cultural landscape, provide new opportunities for local businesses, and positively impact the surrounding neighborhood. Thank you for your support, and I'm happy to help answer any questions.
Thank you so much. And good luck. You have any questions for her? Anyone?
But what are you going to do with the old tennis courts? What's your vision on that?
That's an excellent question. We're working with the town to try to figure that out. We would really like to do outdoor art markets there, especially once the weather cools down a little bit. As you know from being there, the views of the mountains are just breathtaking. And the outside former playground area is over 5,000 square feet. So because of the size of this concrete pad that already exists and its beautiful views and halfway located-ish between Main Street and Frog Level, we are really hoping to use this as space for outdoor meaningful events.
Could be outdoor pickleball courts.
Pickleball. Absolutely.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ready?
No, the public.
Okay,
Public comment?
we will now, invite the public, to speak, and the same rules for the public comment time is 3 minutes, and the town attorney will is 3 minutes. So, I will ask her to call her first person up.
Angie Schwab.
Hi, I'm Angie Schwab. My family and I live at 192 Church Street. We're directly across the street from the parking lot of the project. I'm going to read my letter really quick. It'll be 2 minutes max. I'm here to express support for the mixed-use zoning overlay for Church Street Studios. Our family lives across the street. We would be directly impacted by this project. Neighbors see the potential of the project, including the enhancement of local cultural offerings, preservation and revitalization of the child care center that was falling into severe disrepair, and the economic opportunity for creative businesses here in Waynesville, and also strengthening the neighborhood trust and cohesion by creating a space for a community to gather and communicate. I would like to kindly request that the City Council consider several important factors to ensure that this development aligns with the character and needs of our residential neighborhood. One, traffic and parking solutions. Given that the studio may create traffic and parking complications on top of our current congestion resulting from the Catholic Church, we ask that Shireen and the town be required to implement a comprehensive traffic and parking plan. It really is congested, and our cars have been sideswiped on Sundays. So I ask that you take that seriously. This may include the creation of dedicated parking space for the art center and the coffee shop, as well as measures to mitigate any potential increase in traffic congestion in our neighborhood. Visual buffers on the parking lot would be a real bonus for our family. Number two, outdoor music regulations and acoustic buffers. To maintain the residential ambiance and avoid disturbances, we request that the City Council impose some limits on outdoor music and make a commitment to enforce noise ordinances that currently exist. We would also like to suggest acoustic or visual barriers if necessary to help curb the noise that will allow neighbors to live separately from the events that occur on that property. You may not now know that the VFW on Miller Street amplifies music for extended periods. And while I doubt the art studios will host late night loud events, we need to have options to manage these situations if they arise. We're excited about the prospect of having community and cultural art center in our neighborhood, and believe that with these considerations in place, it can be a positive and enriching addition to the community. Our adult children are excited, and they say that it would make Waynesville less sleepy. So thanks to Shireen for doing this work and joining us on Church Street, and we appreciate your attention to these matters. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, and I wanted to say Jeff Steins, he needs a pat on the back. Maybe I should write it up. I work at home, and his crews come by day after day to do various things. And it just makes me proud to live in Waynesville. They do a great job for our neighborhood especially.
Yes, thank you. Those we like to hear.
Re-
Okay.
Rebecca Cronk.
All right, there's not a whole lot that I need to say that's not already been said, but my name's Rebecca Cronk, and I own the house at 173 Church Street, which is right next door to the parking lot, right next door to the new Church Street Studios. I attended the July 22nd Planning Board meeting, was able to learn more about the plans for this property. I'm in favor of these plans. I think they sound great. However, as a homeowner right next door, I do have a few concerns, and they're similar to what Angie mentioned. One was the increased traffic and on-street parking. The gravel parking lot is currently used by St. John's Catholic Church and is quite busy during church services. And they have lots of church services, not just on Sundays. There have been as many as 22 cars parked in that parking lot, and that then extends out onto the street, and it extends down the street, down Meadow Street, around the corner, down to the VFW parking. So I don't know what the solution would be for that, but something needs to be done probably in terms of having the gravel parking lot clearly annotated to say that it's for Church Street Studios. I would also suggest clearly marked parking lot and on the street, only on one side of the street parking. In addition, the area next to the large rhododendron hedge, as you head down to Frog Level, that area, people are parking along the street and it's causing traffic issues. It's really too narrow in that area to be able to have people parking on the street there. So my suggestion would be to mark that area as no parking, as it creates a dangerous situation. For privacy and noise reduction, I would like to request an evergreen buffer between the property and the adjacent properties. I would also request, and I don't think this is anything that Shireen would ever do, that no large lights be installed that could shine into adjacent properties. We spoke with her about this, and she said it would at most be like twinkle lights or something, and I'm fine with that. Again, I'm excited about the renewed usage of the old school, and thank you for taking my concerns and suggestions into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jane Allen Shope.
Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to speak to you. My name is Jane Allen Shope, and I live at 59 Meadow Street. I have been here for 10 years. I actually liked the daycare center because they were gone by 6 and they weren't there on the weekends, and it was always very quiet. And I'm very excited about this opportunity for, I'm going to call it the daycare center because that's drilled into my head. Very excited about the opportunity for the daycare center and the vision that Shireen has for this. Some of my concerns are the same as my neighbors. A noise level, my house abuts the property. I mean, we can talk to each other from my house up to the daycare center. And I am very not concerned, but I want to make a note to y'all to have something done to make some kind of buffer for that noise. As Rebecca said, some kind of plantings that could protect my property from there, something visual and a buffer to that. And the landscape maintenance, and I think it'll be very aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood. And I can think of nothing more better than to be able to walk up around the corner and go shopping or have coffee. So as Rebecca said too, there are no street lights, no bright lights, twinkle lights are perfect. And the noise level, that's been addressed also. But anyway, thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to be here. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jackie Curry.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Gray, and I'm a builder developer here in Waynesville. I'm actually currently building two spec houses directly above the playground area, the one that they were talking about earlier, that's all paved. I was not sure about live or recorded music outdoors there, and that's really why I came today. Just as it was noted earlier, sound does carry easily in the mountains, and I can hear things I don't want to hear sometimes. I just simply wanted to share that concern as well. I'm building two houses. I appreciate the opportunity to address you today regarding the proposed mixed-use business in our neighborhood. While I fully support and I'm excited about the inclusion of art and cultural elements in our community, my primary and only significant concern about the potential for live or recorded music outdoors at this new establishment. It has not been talked about at all, and I just was curious about it. Music is an intensely personal experience with its appeal varying widely. What is music to one person may be noise to another. This subjectivity becomes particularly sensitive in a residential neighborhood where sound travels effortlessly across property lines. The introduction of outdoor music, whether live or recorded, into such a setting could inadvertently disrupt the tranquility that residents value and rely on. Given the unpredictable nature of how sound carries, I respectfully request that the board considers restricting live or recorded outdoor music at this location. This measure would help maintain the peace and quiet that defines our community and ensure that our homes remain a sanctuary from the outside world. I like the idea. It's a sweet idea and sweet stories around the building. I don't want to take that away from anybody or the idea of the business itself. Mr. Dixon asked the question that blew up bigger in my mind. I've been in business for a long time and businesses fail often. My concern is, can Boojum or Wicked Weed eventually, if this business were to fail, and I don't wish that on anybody, but could they come in there and open up a restaurant / brewery? Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Tanya Harwood.
Good evening, Council. I am the Executive Director of the Hayward County Arts Council, and the Hayward County Arts Council fully supports Shireen's project at Church Street Studios. Our artist members are looking for space to make art and sell art, and this is a solution to a space problem in our community. Excuse me. It also can be a place for the Arts Council to have classes for the community. Currently, the Hayward County Arts Council is running classes in our gallery. Yes, we move the pedestals out of the way, set up classes, pack up the tables. It takes a lot of time, and I'm limited to 10 people in that space. Shireen's going to allow us to use one of those studio spaces to have classes. It's going to be terrific. But for artists to be able to sell their work, that's a big thing. And for our local musicians to have places to play would be a really great thing. We have a lot of very talented people, banjo, guitar, fiddle. A lot of our jam students, they grow up and need places to play their music. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
These are all the individuals who wish to comment during the public comment portion of the hearing. Those are all of the individuals.
If you don't have one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Estimation. See if there's any change.
Chuck would like you to ask if anyone else would like.
Does anyone else would like to speak?
Mayor, I have some questions back for Elizabeth before we close public hearing.
Okay.
As we wait for that. Since the building's set empty for a year, will they be required to meet the updated buffer and parking requirements?
They're not changing the building footprint, so no.
Okay. Would they be required to meet the requirements for the parking for what they're hoping to have?
The only requirement that would kick in on this one would actually have to be the restaurant. And there is based on the number of tables that you provide, for every 8 tables, you have to have a parking space. Excuse me, eight seats.
8 seats, okay. Is live outdoor music allowed in that area?
We don't restrict where live outdoor music is one way or the other.
But it is covered by noise ordinance.
But it would fall under our town noise ordinance.
And we'll address the other noise from the other end of the parking with other department.
Sure.
That's, what was the other one? I scribbled. Lighting. We don't allow uplighting in the town. Right. Uplighting. We don't allow uplighting.
Correct.
And lighting is restricted.
Any lighting or signage would fall within our town ordinances already in place. And we are what we call a dark sky ordinance. We are a dark sky community where we force lighting to be projected downward and only illuminating those areas that need to be illuminated.
Yeah. Right. Did that alleviate some of the concerns for people about lighting? Okay. That's it. For me, I don't.
Pretty good. Okay. If no further questions, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
A motion by Julia. Second. Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, now it's over.
I think some of the concerns for parking is mostly the church at this point. So I think we should have development services look at, or have them look at the parking in that area to see what can temper the parking and help with parking.
Yes, it seems like more of a problem is the church. Consistent.
Yeah, so I think we need to have Jeff's team look at the parking and maybe suggest some parking alleviations for that area. But I don't think it's specific to this property since this is separate from the church.
Yeah, they have a pretty large parking.
They've got a very large parking lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
down below, unless you have some folks that, that's disabled or they just, don't want to park and walk, because they definitely got plenty of parking down below down there. So I think maybe if we could maybe speak with folks down at the church or something down there and let them know that there's become a problem with them on, I guess, what, Saturdays and Sundays they have service. I'm not sure.
They have Sunday every day.
Sundays and Wednesdays that it's causing some concern for the neighborhood. I think definitely that we could make a suggestion to them that, hey, our church has golf carts. They could get golf carts and get people back and forth, to the church. I know that that's something we can't make happen, but we definitely can do something about the parking on the street and stuff like that.
Can we,
causing congestion and stuff
can
there.
we, it strikes me that the issues on Church Street are somewhat similar to the problems we had over on Broadview. And one of the things that we had done on Broadview is to strike the parking spaces and where cars were allowed to park. And I think if I understood what Ms. Cronk was saying is that there are some going down the hill that they park there. Is that right? And so could we strike that as no parking or set that as no parking?
And they park all along Meadow Street too, and they park close enough up the curb that if you're coming up Church to take a right on Meadow,
Yeah.
you cannot see you're right at somebody that's coming up.
Yeah.
So what I would ask is, can we come up with a plan to stripe that street, and possibly, and definitely Meadow Street as well, for parking, and obviously there's needs to be some communication with the church as
Yeah.
well, but, people have been parking on that street during church services for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And so, certainly longer than I've been here, but, and I've been here a long time. So, if we can do that, I'm assuming that Public Works would be able to handle that.
What we can do is measure the parking areas, the standard 8 and 9 foot parking areas, and see if we have two clear travel lanes. And in areas where we do, strike spaces in areas where we don't, we have to limit parking on one side. We'll just have to do some measuring. But this is something our parking committee that does all the traffic on all that, we handle all these parking issues and we're happy to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's something that we need to do as a town, but it's not the applicant's
No,
responsibility to
it's
solve the
That's what-
parking
it's
issue
not.
on the
That was,
street.
that was gonna be my comment, is, are
Yeah.
you all trying to tie this restriction to their
No.
application
Yeah,
to
it's-
pass this, facing us at this point?
No, no.
Okay,
We're trying to solve two things
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, need a motion here.
Well, can we talk about the other uses? I'm comfortable with there being business support and personal services, ATMs and a bank.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm even okay with laundry. There's not gonna be there will not be a dry cleaning that will go in there. It's just not set up correctly. But what I'm trying to limit is the complexity of our zoning ordinance. The more that we add on to it, the more complex it becomes and the more it's to maintain. So I'm trying to look out in the future. I mean, John and I can probably agree, being on the planning board, sometimes things change over time inadvertently. And I think the more complex we make it, the more we're going to have mistakes in the future. So I'm okay just putting the overlay on that area.
Good point. You good with that, John?
I am.
Okay. Then I'll lay some motions here.
Oh, I'll make a motion to find that we have to close public hearing.
You did.
Oh, did I?
We did.
I'm sorry, people. I have COVID brain. I'm getting forgetful. I'll make a motion to find that the request is consistent with the town of Waynesville's 2035 comprehensive plan, in that it continues to promote smart growth principles in land use planning and zoning, encourages infill, mixed use, and content sensitive development. It protects and promotes Waynesville's cultural resources, invest in preservation, restoration, and promotion of Waynesville's history, encourages collaboration among local cultural and heritage organizations and artists to enrich our communities with events and education.
Second.
Got a second, the jury. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like a sign. We also have a second, motion that we need here.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the attached ordinance to establish an overlay district at 225 Church Street, and that it creates opportunities for sustainable economy, encourages creatively designed mixed-use walkable centers and commercial districts that appeal to residents and visitors, and it promotes the growth of existing local businesses in Waynesville's neighborhood economy.
Second.
Got a second, the jury. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like a sign, so ordered. You're good. Folks, we will try to look into about the parking situation down there. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. Okay, we move on to, new business.
For you to read
Well, honey,
that and pass it down.
Mount Pro, and about speeding.
Pass it down.
Huh?
So everybody-
Okay, we'll have a request of town staff for council direction on a grant application to the Great Trail State Program grant to extend the town's greenway system toward Lake Junaluska. Ms. E.T.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have learned this spring of a one-time funding opportunity from the state of North Carolina for new trail development, and it's focused on existing trails. We could go back to that, North Carolina, including greenways, natural surface trails, biking trails, and other types of trails recognized by the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. There's only going to be one grant cycle, and it's going to distribute $25 million in non-recurring funds across the state. Eligible activities for this grant include design and engineering, property and easement acquisition, development of construction documents, construction costs, trail amenities, and then the maximum grant is $500,000. Oh, right. Sorry, I was probably hitting it inadvertently. So as you're aware, the town has been working quite diligently and incrementally over the past several years to develop our greenway trail system, focusing primarily on trails as amenities to existing parks. Last year, we put in the Greenway Trail Bridge, which linked the town recreation park to a new piece of property that the town purchased from the Schulhofer family. We really need to find a good name for that park because I keep calling it the old Schulhofer property. But that's a conversation for another day. This area heading east and north towards from the Greenway Bridge towards the Schulhofer property was studied in 2020 as part of our feasibility study to try and link Lake Junaluska to Waynesville. The feasibility study lays out certain trail alignments, and what we would like, and by we I mean the Haywood County Greenways Council, what we would like is to apply for a grant to actually do whatever needs to get done to get us from the new Greenway Trail to Asheville Highway, and from Asheville Highway to the trailhead that is there near Sunburst Trout in the industrial park. I don't know if this will show up, but I'll point out a couple of things. So if you're looking if you're looking at this area, this is existing greenway in our park. Here's the new bridge. This feasibility study was done prior to that work, so you can see how much we built out. But the new bridge just completed paving of this greenway trail. And what this project would foresee yes, you can. Good speaking. We would come up a shared driveway that is a shared driveway that has access by Clear Channel Broadcasting, the Enloe family on two sides, and the town of Waynesville. We've been in touch with the Enloe sisters and we completed a survey of this right-of-way. There's actually a 60-foot right-of-way along what is now just a dirt road. It kicks out on Woodland Drive. Woodland Drive is a DOT right-of-way. If you're familiar with Woodland Drive, you may not believe that it's a DOT But it is, and it's, you know, it's something that DOT is not, interested in upgrading right now. And they are concerned about the formal Greenway Trail along Woodland Drive, but they are open to working with us to at least bring the trail up here, maybe with some additional signage, we could route users onto the Woodland Drive partially. But really the ideal, as the 2020 planning commission, was to work out an agreement with the Menlo family to patch part of a contour line here to skirt the high side of the Woodland Drive right of way to come out on Powell Road. So we need help to really finalize that, to look at legal work, to look at land acquisition, to work with the team to come up with design, how that work. So this grant is one opportunity for us to look at that section, figure out how we get from point A to point B. What would be the final alignment? What would be the design? And then kind of off the edge, can't scoot too much further, but the idea is to pick up Old Powell Mill Road or connect into Powell Mill Road, where the groves at Water's Edge are currently being developed. Groves at Water's Edge is an apartment complex, and if you've been down Powell Mill Road, they're going in right here, you'll see that with the Greenway feasibility and our master plan, we asked them, instead of a standard sidewalk frontage, they put in a Greenway offset. So we actually now have Greenway along Powell Hill with the frontage of this what this grant could also let us do is continue that Greenway all the way to the intersection of the National Highway. And then what we've also talked to DOT about is a conversion from existing sidewalk and foot paved surface to continue the Greenway this direction where there's a potential at road crossing here, or just to the sidewalk where users have to currently get onto a piece of sidewalk that goes along National Highway. It's not ideal, but it's the connector that we have. And potentially down this way towards the Junaluska Elementary School. If you take it one more block down Francis Farm Road, this location is where the county is developing bicycles in a pump track. So we could look at Greenway down that road. So the reason I'm coming to council tonight is the concern that we shared and Bob and I talked about just a little bit ago. Go back to my presentation. Thank you. Go one more slide down here. When we look at these trail alignments, a large part of it is actually not in the town of Waynesville. It's in our extraterritorial jurisdiction. And this has been an area where we've had trail users express concern about how they're maintained. And there is an agreement between the town and the county that's in existence now that puts some maintenance responsibility on the county in some areas and in the town in other areas. This agreement was worked out when that trail that goes from Delwood Road along Richland Creek and under the Smoky Mountains Expressway and kicks out at Sunburst, that existing trail system, that was when that was built, this maintenance agreement was established. That maintenance agreement hasn't always been upheld. And so we brought this to the Haywood County Greenways Council there is a meeting later this week to talk about joint maintenance on this specific area between county and town staff. And then also our Greenways Council got out there the week before last, and volunteers actually cleaned up the garbage, mowed, took out some of the branches, and so the Greenways Council has done some maintenance along it. So what Rob had expressed, and I think it's wise, is we wanted your direction is if you're comfortable with the town moving forward with an application for this Greenway grant to help us with this envisioned Greenway connection, but knowing that it's in these areas that are actually only in our ETJ, not part of our property interest. The last thing I'll share, go here, is that because of the timing of this, we actually can use some in-kind match that we've already implemented by paving the Greenway trail. The town Greenway construction on the old Schulhofer property was $163,500. We can use that valuation as in-kind match because that's part of this Greenway segment. Additionally, the roads at Water's Edge, their construction value for that section of Greenway was $46,000. The Tourism Development Authority, who looked at this as a real opportunity that was consistent with their master planning that they're doing, went ahead and committed $50,000 of cash match from the Tourism Development Authority to be used as designated match for this grant for this purpose of trying to get us to this thing from agreement. So we already have $259,500 of match. That would actually get us to the $500,000 maximum grant. You're eligible for without asking for anybody else to kick in money. However, that said, I do know that county staff be asking the county commissioners for some show of support and match. And I know that the county manager, the county assistant manager, and the Parks and Rec director were actually looking at the site today. So I'll learn more about what their commitment is. And then any cash or local match that the town would also put on the table, we feel like it's appropriate, we could use towards in the grant application to show support. The catch, I guess, is that the deadline is September 3rd. So there's a lot of details that you'll need to put together in the next week or so. And what I'd like is to get a sense from you about your comfort level with us putting together this grant, working on a maintenance agreement with the county to update what that is, having more involvement with the Haywood County Greenways Council as part of maintenance, sustainability of this section of Greenway, but that the town of Waynesville would actually be the grant applicant, and we would be the lead organization on the grant. I did put together a potential grant budget just to see what this might look like, and I need to refine these numbers. But if we looked at right-of-way acquisition and legal work, design and engineering, construction documents, bids, grant management, and I feel like we would still have money on the table for actual construction of certain segments. This is a potential grant budget, not something that I've worked out with in terms of on-the-ground measuring and field work, but that's something that I want to do in the next week. And we just really would like your permission to put together this grant application budget. I'm happy to answer any questions. I understand.
If you have any questions.
No, I say go forth and ask for grant.
Definitely.
Well, one thing about a grant that's important to remember, we can apply. And if we get the grant, there's always an option to say, we know we applied, but we don't want to sign the contract. We just, for whatever factors, we don't feel like we can do it now. We'd like, you don't make any of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Said Wayne Gretzky. So, we'd like to go ahead and put together the grant application. If at some point something comes up that there's real concern, we will be coming back to this council to sign the grant contract. So just making the application doesn't lock in.
I have
to
the
this.
utmost faith in you and your department to do what's necessary.
John?
Love it. Let's do it.
Jordan?
Just quickly, what is the match? You listed those three, and are those, is that money we've already expended, or is that money potential to spend? Because matches have to be, I know a lot about the grant world, so.
The 163,500 is what we've already expended on the new Greenway Trail. We're just in the process of closing out that project. There's still some punch list items the contractor has to come back.
TDA is committed 50.
And the TDA has already committed $50,000. The roads at Water's Edge, the apartment complex.
And what's the percentage on the 500,000? Is it a 100% match, or?
For Haywood County, for every $1, we'll down.
So it would exceed, I think they said 269, so it's total that we've already.
We've already exceeded the minimum that.
Yeah. Yep. That's like buy one, get two free.
Even though it's outside the city limits, it's something that would be a tremendous benefit to the town, and to the town's economy and to the, so, right. And it sounds like you're working on the right things, your county commitment, and also to update the maintenance agreement. Hopefully the county can maintain the greenway. I'm guessing
Yes.
outside the city limits.
Yes, I think with the new sort of energy that's in the Haywood County Greenways Council now, we're seeing a higher level of responsiveness and commitment on the part of the county for this project in particular, but greenways in general. The county adopted a Greenway Master Plan that is reflected in those segments. Additionally, Chuck, something you had mentioned is that there's this EPA grant also coming down the pike with a multi-million-dollar potential grant opportunity. And if we can, depending on sort of cost estimates that we come up with, maybe the bulk of this grant is design, engineering, and land acquisition. And then the EPA grant come along behind and help us with construction and some other stuff. So this could be a first step to a larger funding opportunity that's coming down the pipe. And we'll try and apply. Just keep applying. We really feel like Waynesville's in a good position to leverage money down and get some of this statewide money here in Western Carolina.
What is the start, when the notifications on once you apply, and then?
There's a committee that would meet, and so 3 to 4 months we should hear back. It's similar to the part-time.
So it could be a January, February start date if we are
approval
selected.
date, and then we'd end up going into like a grant contract period. We have to come back to the council for approval, and we could potentially start the project July 1st of next fiscal year. The grant period, you have to expend the funds.
Okay, guys, what she's asking for is direction from us to apply for this application.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to ask the town staff at the council's direction on a grant application to the Great Trail State Program grant to extend the town's greenway system towards Lake Alaska.
Second.
Wait a second. Did I get it? Yeah, okay, got it, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, Missy T. You go for it. Okay.
I was hoping Jesse would show these pictures for the next
So,
item.
yeah, I'm just standing here for the next item.
Oh, okay.
Introduce David
I
Kelly.
thought you were waiting on something.
No, I'm
Right.
not gonna torture you with.
Anthony's gonna get all choked up.
You don't recognize David without, with the tie on.
Come on.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
know who he is.
I'll do anything for the yes.
Yes.
You could definitely get the best.
Did we,
dress. Yeah,
there's
you-
a gentleman leaving. Did we want to?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Sure.
I want to let David present this, but I did forget to send Rob a note today. David just won a very special award as the outstanding building inspector for Western Region.
Yes, well deserved.
Thank you.
Or he has to wear a tie to work now.
I won't take
Oh,
much of your time.
All right. Number 6, we're request from the building inspector to approve the resolution authorizing the demolition of 1727 South Main Street and for a bid contract to demolish the building. And so give us your.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. Thank you for taking time to hear me regarding 1727 South Main Street, the old Southern College. As you're aware, the building has partially collapsed and has continued to get worse with another portion of the building collapsing last month. I have given each of you a detailed summary of where we are at in the condemnation process for this building. We have set a notice to correct to the owners, which had a deadline of August 5th. As of today, no repairs or demolition has been done by the owner. We're holding a hearing on August 16th at 9 a.m. to allow the owners a chance to represent and present evidence to support any reasons for not repairing or demolishing the structure. After the hearing, we'll send out a finding of fact and order to demolish the building. Section 10-158C of our code ordinances generally allows the owner 60 days to comply with the finding of fact and order. However, where the codes administrator or authorized inspector finds there is imminent danger to life or other property, he may order that corrective action be taken in such lesser period as may be feasible. I believe with the continued dilapidated condition of the building, we should give the owner a 10-day period following the issuance of the order to appeal. Then if they do not appeal, we contract to have the building demolished. With the anticipation of the last council meeting of the month being canceled, I am here before you today to ask for your approval of the resolution authorizing demolition of 1727 South Main Street and bid contract to demolish the building. There is a correction on the bid price that you have in your hands. We anticipated the price to be around $22,000, but we had all our bids come back in and we actually got it for $11,000. $11,000 to demolish the building and to remove that construction debris, which is, I don't know anybody who can do that price.
No, that's there's compressors, welders,
Plus 3 vehicles inside that are on lifts up in the air. Yeah. So there's a lot of work to be done there.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time. I'll answer any questions you have or any concerns you may have.
I'm just ready to get it on.
I was
Me too.
I have to say, I was astounded by the pictures. So,
Right. If you'll look now, driving by, there's only 2 gable end buses left. The front one is
It's
leaning
leaning
more towards
Yeah, it's leaning towards the street.
yes, will you make sure that the bid also includes getting rid of the tires? I know that was the $500.
That would be a separate bid. He wasn't directed to put that in the bid. That would be a separate issue under.
But I would feel.
If they disappeared, I wouldn't say anything.
Right.
yeah, I
Can,
found real good luck just leaving them on the streets.
Could you pull up the pictures? Because I don't have. You don't have the presentation.
So the pictures you have there were taken last month, before the last collapse. Yeah, that was what happened.
David, is this action, I understand, is just on that particular building.
That's correct.
Is there any movement on the rest of the property as well?
The 3 buildings, that one parcel is for sale.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying actively to sell now. There was a petition by one of the owners, one of the heirs, to sell the property. Confusion. Yeah.
there's a partition action.
Yeah,
To
Sam
force
Hyde
a
is the
sale.
commissioner of that.
Mhm.
Okay, so there may be light at the end of that tunnel.
I
Is
hope
that
so.
what I'm hearing?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Like I said, typically we give them 60 days to comply with that, but if they could continue to collapse on its own, I don't think we should allow it.
But bear in mind that the building and our work with the building is separate from removing the vehicle.
That's true. The three vehicles that are inside, we're asking if they remove them best they can.
But the rest of the vehicles on the lot is a separate
That's a
issue
separate issue
from
altogether.
the building.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is only the building.
Only the building.
Let me ask you a question. If once we do get the building down, we start trying to get some of these junk cars out. I mean, my concern is maybe kids getting in those cars and at 80 degrees outside and the door's locked and they can't get out. So I have a major concern about these junk cars just sitting around like that because kids are bad for wonder. And so if something like that occurred, that bothers me. So I still want to keep the pressure on about getting those cars out of there.
They're slowly disappearing. It doesn't look like much, but they are slowly disappearing. I think some of the heirs are trying to get as much money as possible. And Doyle Sutton, the uncle of the heirs, he has been very helpful.
Yes.
Actually,
He has, Doyle, you're speaking of Doyle, Doyle's
yeah,
done a great job.
he has been very helpful.
Doing that. Okay.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we have money in the budget,
We
development
do.
services
We have
to
about
do that?
$45,000 allocated for this.
Right, and then we file a lien or something on the
As
property.
soon as it's
We do
done.
this.
As soon as it's done,
And is there any concern that this low bid is so low?
I addressed that, because I had
Okay.
bid the 29,000, 22,000, and then I contacted the winning bidder and I said, are you sure you know what you're getting into? And he said, yes. He said, he
Okay.
does it all the time. He has the equipment mobilized.
So it's not CDW that's gonna do it.
No, this is Lancaster.
So the question is, whenever they remove it, do they get the items that's in the building?
There's a caveat to that. So they're supposed to take some of those items, if it's usable, and take that toward the cost of demolition. But there's some metal tables inside there that Doyle Sutton like had. And kind of in a backyard deal, if he's moving the vehicle away from the building for us with his big equipment, so access it, so I don't have to hire a crew to come in and move those, if he can have those.
Because
And I'm to negotiate that.
in those pictures you said, I saw probably $30,000 or $40,000.
A lot of the equipment inside there
It's rusted.
is, putrid.
Right.
It's all. It has been under the illness.
Yeah, there's paints and pressers and welders.
I would fair say most of them are seasonal.
Yeah.
Most of the ceilings caved in on top of all that stuff.
All the ceiling is on the vehicle.
Yeah, it's all holding it up there. Okay, we need a motion.
I move we approve the resolution authorizing demolition of 1727 South Main Street. And I'm thinking maybe we ought to authorize the bid of a separate motion.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Yes.
Second.
Got a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, to the like sign. Okay.
And then help me out. I move
There's
that we,
a different bid, but I'll make a motion to approve the bid contract to demolish the building at 1727 South Main Street up to
Give them 15.
$15,000.
Leeway.
Yeah.
$3,000 leeway.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's no telling what you're gonna find under that.
Right.
So
It's scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just hoping for mine.
he has workers' compensation coverage, right? He's
Exactly.
he's fully bonded, insured,
Yes,
has
we
workers' comp.
have a copy of the insurance.
Okay, good.
There's
a second.
Did I get a second?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like sign. Go get them.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Do your mayor a favor.
Let us know when it happens so we can come.
Oh, we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna stand there. What?
Make sure you get your hard hat.
Well, I'm gonna be across the street.
I'm talking to Dave.
Yeah.
I have to.
They've done a beautiful job on sound box whenever they tore it down and cleaned it up there, so,
Hopefully this will be a miracle.
those guys done a good job on that. Okay, we've moved to recommend an award of contract to Carolina Specialty Fitness in the amount of $49,518.88 before tax. That's including taxes, correct? And for cardio equipment to replace at the recreation center. Luke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Town Council, for allowing me to speak. Yes, we, per the budget and capital outlay, you had designated $50,000 for a replacement of some cardio equipment at the recreation center. We recently went to bid through a co-op purchasing firm called Sourcewell that the town is a part of, and they take care of all the RFPs and contracts and all that. So we have received, well, 2 bids, but actually attempted 3. Technogym did not submit a more recent quote. Then Wellness Solutions came in at $47,000 with no tax added on to their proposal. Then Carolina Specialty Fitness came in at the total amount of $49,518, but $46,459 before tax. So we recommend the award of contract to Carolina Specialty Fitness. And what this would do is replace 9 items of equipment in total. I think 4 ellipticals, 5 recumbent and upright bikes, which are the most needed items of equipment, and 1 machine that is a trending machine we get a lot of feedback from that we sort of a blue machine. So with your blessing, we would like to move forward if you are comfortable with that.
Maybe it'll draw more folks to join our center.
We hope so.
Okay, hey guys, what he's looking for is for your approval for this contract.
I'll make a motion to recommend award the contract to Carolina Specialty Fitness in the amount of $49,500.88, which is $46,459.23 before tax for cardio equipment replacement at the rec.
Second.
Second, Julie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show a light sign. Good.
Thanks so much.
You know, I've got questions. The East Street Park, when are they supposed to start on resurfacing?
Yes, that basketball court. So that's actually going to start hopefully weather pending this Friday. The contractor that also did the Greenway paving, as Elizabeth pointed out, they are coming back to do their punch list corrections this Wednesday, weather pending. So the schedule is for Wednesday, the Greenway corrections. They've got doing some issues to address. They'll do that and then go to East Street and they'll start taking down the fence, tearing up the court, and then we will move to it'll be a much larger basketball court area.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds great. No questions are asked.
A lot of projects going on.
Thanks for all you do, Luke.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate your team. There was a piece of equipment that was offline for a very short period of time that was fixed, and I appreciate it.
I will say that between Tim and our rec aides, they fix everything in-house. They try to get everything back up and running as much as possible. Next, just in the future, next year, we'll probably need to replace the treadmill. That's the biggest thing. But the ellipticals and the bikes were being hammered so bad. And these are a smaller footprint, so there's less space taken up. And the bikes will have more flexibility and mobility. Am I right, Wes? Yeah, they'll have more options. Battery operation as well, so more efficient. We're excited about it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Luke.
Appreciate it.
Moving along. Mr. Steins, you're up.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
29, don't turn 29 every day.
This will be the wastewater treatment plant, mounting platform for floating aerator. Did I get the word right? Safety switches for the belt press. Mr. Stein.
Yep. Thank you for having me. So what this is like you said, for the aerator, floating aerator for the digester. This is actually phase 2 of this. This was not part of the plant upgrade, so this is something that we're having to do on our own. What this will do is ACMI would come in and build a platform, install it on top of the digester, and also install a 3-post mooring frame, which would allow that floating aerator to float up and down, be centered in the digester. By installing a floating aerator and converting that from an anaerobic aerobic process, it gives a better product, if you will, to go across the belt press, which in turn will dry the sludge at a better rate. You get a better condensation out of it, and we landfill it. So that's one of the items I brought you. The second one is the panel for the press itself. There's some safety switches that need to be changed out. This is obviously a safety issue for the operators. It also allows us to have our belt press that we just had refurbished, that was part of the plant upgrade. It allows that belt press to be under warranty. Rob, do you remember the warranty link on that? If y'all need to know that, I can get it.
Yeah. Question for Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Done deal, man.
Yep.
He needs.
What's the total amount that you're requesting? Is the 140,500 plus 10,000, so that'd be 150,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, we need an approval for the bid. I'll need a motion in that order.
I'll make a motion to approve the bids to ACMI fabricate the platform for the aerators and purchase and installation of safety switches for the belt press.
All right, need a second.
Second.
Second, John, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. We also need a budget amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment as presented, which is $150,500.
Okay,
Second.
second with Julia. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, show like sign. Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Weather's been good to us down there, hasn't it? Yeah.
And great. Moving along right away.
Yes. Good. Okay. Text My Gov service contract. Assistant Manager Jesse Fowler.
Thank you, Mayor. Around last year, Candace came to me. She had gotten a phone call from one of the sales representatives that we get a phone call from at the end of every fiscal year for about a month and a half that I ignore. And she said, hey, this one's actually pretty good. Called Text My Gov. And what she pointed out to me, and we sat in on a demo, it provides a service to the town through the website, mobilely, and on a PC, where it's a widget. Essentially, it begins as a widget that can go on the bottom of the screen. Clyde, North Carolina used to do it. I checked their website earlier. It's down. I don't know why it's not there. And what that widget does is we program it during onboarding to answer questions that are typically asked by people. Where do I do this? How do I do this? Where do I pay this? How do I pay that? And it can automatically answer those questions for them without them having to call us and wait for somebody to call them back or leave a voicemail or something like that. The second function that this provides is similar to that of the Haywood County alert system, where with what everybody in the county is kind of relying on right now, whenever any information is distributed to customers and citizens quickly, we go to Haywood County and we get them to put it out on the alert system. That's an emergency system. It kind of gets overused for things that aren't emergencies. We can use this ourselves in our own city limits to do a similar function. Doesn't look like an emergency, and it's generally just information that we need to get people to know. Road closures, water outages, power outages, that sort of thing. We're asking for you to approve this multi-year contract. The first year of the contract is $9,750. After that, every year, it's only $6,500. That initial increase in price is due to onboarding services, all four funds, so the price will be split amongst them. We already have the budget inside of each line item.
Questions for Jesse?
Yes, sir.
Jesse, I noticed on the additional services, the enhanced media and care package. Do we know how much that might cost? And what struck me is if we purchase this service and people don't know about it, don't know how to use it, and it seemed like that media and care package would provide that kind of assistance up front to really ensure that
Yeah,
our citizens.
promulgation.
Yeah,
We don't know. We'd have to sit down with them first. But I can come back to you with that number and let you know.
yeah.
If it's not too much, if you would like to just approve us to go ahead and get it if we feel like it's worth it. And if it's a lot of money then that we don't have budgeted, then
It's based on population.
it
So
is.
that's
I'll tell you, all of this was based off of population, and it's all for the service it provides and its utility. It's incredibly cheap. I can't expect that service to be much more expensive.
I would like to see that, included.
I would too.
I think it would be helpful, both in the short and long term.
That's the motion.
I will make that motion that we move forward with the, plan as permitted and including the enhanced media and care package, assuming that it.
If it's really expensive,
Yeah,
it doesn't increase it, not like
yeah,
50% or good.
yeah,
there's a number there that we all know of that we don't know of.
yeah.
Okay, got a motion?
I'll second.
Second, Anthony, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like some. Hey, Mr. Town Manager. You put it in. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I've got a request, from a citizen, he got here a little late, Mr. Robert Ernest. We're gonna give him a public comment time. Sir, you'll be, come up to the podium there and you'll be, allowed, the same as you would if you were to make it here for the public comment, a 3-minute time limit. So our town attorney will be keeping that, time limit.
Well, I hope she won't start until I thank y'all all for what you've done tonight. The neighbors have hated what that Sutton properties looked like for so long that we're just real happy y'all did.
Yeah, that was our words, but more colorful.
The reason I'm here is to ask for your help. I moved here in I'm Robert Ernest. Some of you old timers might remember I'm Dr. Ernest, and I started Hayward Pediatrics, the leading pediatric group in this area. Still is, and I'm very proud of it. When we moved here in 1972, the first thing I noticed about, we've lived all our life on the double drive of Country Club Road. The first thing I noticed is how fast the cars go. And the first thing I did when I saw my little kids playing out in the yard with their dog and the ball and realized they were going to go down the hill, and there was put a cheap fence out front. It just really irritated me. And I told them it was a lot better than that. Well, fast forward to now. Cars are 5 times, I'm sure the traffic is 5 times worse. And the cars are a whole lot faster. And you know who's driving them? It's not the kids like it used to be. It's suburban housewives in their air-conditioned SUVs who pay absolutely no attention to the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. When I came to the attention of the people at the Public Works, Street and Sanitation, and asked them as they were building the speed humps on Nineveh, could they help us out? And I said, what do we do? And I went around and got all our neighbors. We all signed the petition. They did a survey. They found the average speed. They put the thing in the wrong place, but that's neither here nor there. The average speed was 38 miles an hour. That's average. There's a lot of 60 miles, believe it or not. And it's really, really bad. I don't have little kids anymore. I still have dogs. And there's 3 old men, and me with my 2 big dogs, a blind man with his 2 dogs, and a man on a wheel, pusher thing. And it's a miracle we're all still alive. When we put the proposal that was made to us after we put in everything and got the survey done was that they would build a Chirac. You have any idea what that is? It's where they were going to take the road and do this with multiple sides, tear all the trees out, We live on the only creek street. We didn't like it. Yeah. So we said, no, no, no. All we want is some speed. No, no, no. Well, yeah, about 2 months ago, I was driving down the street. Somebody finally, and I'll tell you who it was, built a speed hump there. Allow EMS to go right over the road. It's narrow. It doesn't take up the whole street. It does this. Be perfect for country club. And the man that designed it is an employee of yours. His name's Matthew Price. He's the superintendent of your public streets. So I talked to him about it, and he says, well, you might have to redesign it, but yeah, that would work. Told me, of course, there was no money in the budget this year for speed humps, but I want us to be on the budget next year. It's time for you to do something for us. I have never been to one of your meetings. I have never asked for a thing. I've lived here all my life. I pay taxes here for 50 plus years. And I'm asking not for me, and not for my little kids, they're all grown up. But I'm asking all my neighbors. Every single one of them is wanting to have it. Not a single person saying, oh, no. How about it? Can you help us?
If we could do the study on it.
Dr. Ernest, what are you talking about from Virginia to where?
To the country club.
Okay, so just that.
Just the double drive.
It's the double beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Stoplight. Yeah.
And if the people that the speeding, it continues on Country Club Drive all the way uphill, all the way into Nineveh. When I drive 20 miles an hour through the project at Nineveh, I have 4 cars behind me every time.
I can honestly say I come in that way every day from home, and I do 20 miles per hour, and I almost get rear-ended on multiple occasions. But while we're doing this study, is there a possibility of putting our portable mile per hour sign there to show people how fast they're going? Or just to.
Well, I walk my dog, excuse me, but I walk my dog every day. And I walk by all those signs, and not a single person's out there. They pay no attention. They go into that curve up there going 38 miles an hour.
There's a sign that we have that's portable
I know.
that flashes.
Yeah.
It does slow down traffic until we can get the speed.
Well, maybe it
speed
does,
calming.
but it has not in my experience.
I'm not saying that's the ultimate solution. I'm saying you put it there until we get the ultimate solution.
Whatever you can do, help. If it helps, if it slows one person down,
it's enough.
It would be worth the electricity.
Joey, is that a cut through, major cut through for the?
I think if we make it where you can do what we did on the other one.
You mentioned a study's already been done.
Study's already been done. All the signatures are on record. The 38 miles an hour is on record. You know, Mr. Matthews got all that information.
The fact that they can even get up to 38 miles per hour is amazing.
Do we need to take a look at that again? I mean, rather than having a study.
The issue is, I mean, there's obviously a problem. It was, the concern is the solution, right?
Yeah, if you want to throw your money away, go do another survey. But you take it from me, nobody's slowed down.
Tear out the trees and the double lines. No,
that seems like awfully expensive.
Right.
The whole road rather than speed humps.
Right. I think we go with it.
Which you'll probably hate, but you know.
What now?
Which you'll probably hate.
What is that?
We put them in, speed humps.
Speed humps, you can put them anywhere you want to.
All right.
I drive 20 and 20 mile an hour speed limit. I drive 35 and 35. I've got one of the rare cars that has a cruise control that goes to 20.
Most of them only go down to 24.
Most of them don't.
I may go back and look at that, research.
We'll look at it. We'll look at the speed tables and speed cushions and some of the other things we've been looking
And
at.
also how it affects emergency vehicles. That's another thing that we get on these thoroughfares where the police and the fire run regularly is we don't want them to have trouble trying to get to a person's house when it's on fire. So we have to kind of have the fire department to tune in on whatever we look at. They look at also for the emergency effect of that. So we're checking out. Thank you so much for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Okay, communication from staff. Rob, you have anything?
No, sir.
Town attorney, yours is coming up.
Yes, sir. I just have that.
Yeah, just a closed session. That's all you have.
That's what I would like.
That's
to
what
discuss
you,
with the board, yes.
okay. All right. Okay, then the communication from staff. Chuck, you have anything? Nope. Julia?
I sure do, and I'm so glad he stayed because I wanted to say this earlier.
Yep.
Congratulations to our fabulous fire department chief. He's the newly elected president of the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs Board. You're incredible. The state recognizes your incredible ability, and so congratulations.
Yes.
We were gonna make the announcement in September because he forgot to bring his suit.
It's a little dirty.
So we make this more formal, at your next meeting, so we can get some pictures, and stuff.
Yeah. Mayor, was Elizabeth gonna introduce a new employee?
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that for staff. How about introducing our new employee?
Thank you. Well, I'm very pleased to introduce y'all to Alex Mumby. Alex, stand up. Alex comes to us as a newly graduated planning professional from the University of Florida.
Oh, goodness.
Go Gators. Welcome to the Flatland.
Anyway, he's already accepted a lot of different assignments that we keep throwing at him. And tomorrow, he and I are going out with the rolling wheel to measure greenways together.
Oh, fantastic.
I've really appreciated his being on our team. We hope he'll stay a long time.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. I won't hold it against you. You're a good.
Thank you.
I'm a volunteer, if that tells you.
At least you're not from FSU.
Welcome to the town of Waynesville.
Yeah, thanks for having it. It's been a great first month here, and I'm just excited to learn and keep working for the town. And it's a great town, great place to live.
You have some family.
Yeah, well, don't hold it against me. My aunt and uncle live in Asheville, and they've lived there for about 15 years. So it was good coming up here. I already knew I had some family support, so I'm not here totally on my own.
Okay, congratulations.
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I did a presentation for Quantas, yeah, for the Quantas last week. And so that went really, really well. I just kind of brought them up to date, like mostly with the budget, what was approved, what could be spent for recreation, what could, what we're getting. And then I brought them up to par on some other things that were in the pipeline for the town, what we're working on. So that's what I did. John?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. With that out of the way.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against an individual public officer or employee.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second, Julia, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, show like sign. Okay.
Can we take a 5-minute?
Chief, congrats again.
Yeah, let's-
Incredible.